thanks for joining us. Duluth Public Schools are coming up short in the tune of millions of dollars in next year's budget. Northern News Now, Sophia Lauber heard from education leaders today about what's creating the gap, which is forcing the district to make some cuts. Sophia, what did you learn?
Laura, this is nothing new to district leaders who have had to make cuts several years in a row now as need continues to outpace funds. Still, they tell me it's not any easier this time around, recognizing the decisions they make will be felt by students. Duluth School Board Chair Kelly Eder says there's no obvious solution when it comes to making cuts.
There's just nothing easy about it because it is very personalized because you know that it affects kids. And we're trying to do the best we can for kids.
But the board also needs to balance a budget gap of $4 million, largely due to costs from health insurance for staff and special education resources.
We don't have the income coming in as those costs rise.
The federal government mandates special education services, which leaders agree are important programs.
However, when the feds passed those mandates, they never really passed down funding to help with the additional costs, which are enormous on our school districts.
The district recently discussed legislative needs with local lawmakers, including State Senator Grant Hochschild, who sits on the state's education committee. While the state funded an increase in special education subsidies in 2023, Duluth still pays for about 40% of programming.
But unfortunately, without additional federal support, it's really hard to make up for all the costs that our schools face.
In addition to lobbying for more state aid, district leaders say they'll look at long-standing programs to find ways to work more efficiently.
But it inevitably that trickles down into the classrooms.
They add they're committed to preserving mental health resources and academic supports like reading and math interventionists.
We know what we're not going to do, and we know what we have to do, right? So we are in communication and in community right now having those conversations.
Families will have the opportunity to learn more and share their thoughts at 2 public meetings scheduled for March. The school board will take that feedback and finalize a budget by July 1st. Live in studio, Sophia Lauber, Northern News Now.